Good morning, Bull Sharks. In remembrance of the events of 9/11/2001, the TV crew interviewed staff members about what they remember about that day. Let's take a look.
Every year on 9/11, when I used to live back home in New York with my parents, we would always watch whatever documentary was put out that year, and we would just kind of sit in silence and like really remember like what was going on and like, you know, envisioning, oh my God, imagine if we were actually there. Like my dad always shows us this one picture where I think it was like a couple of months before he was at the top of the Trade Center, like taking photos. So it's crazy how instantly something like that can be gone.
Disbelief, fear. I mean, during that day, we didn't know if that was it. What else was going to happen? Where, you know, are there more events? So there was fear, but also for that day and for the several months afterwards, a sense of pride. Unfortunately, today we're very divided and things are very heated and political views, and we're at a point in time in history with our country where, you know, everything's so sensitive and people are not kind to one another. So, but for those probably 6 months to a year after the events of 9/11, the country was united. Everybody was together. It was the most united I've ever felt.
And Jill, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you remember that as well. It was like, that brought us all together for a period of time.
Yeah, I can remember like people were so kind after that, like holding doors for you and not being as aggressive driving, and there was a time of like where everybody was being very kind.
It was like a reset.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind and it was that was good.
I lived in New York at the time.
Wow.
So I was about an hour from New York City. So I knew a lot of people that were down there. And
We were actually at Fort Hood, Texas. I was stationed at that time at Fort Carson, Colorado, but we were doing some joint training with units from Texas, which is kind of part of the reason that we were kind of so far out and didn't have access to any sort of direct communications. So once we had that initial understanding that something had happened, then we used military radios to call the unit that we were supporting to get some more information. So they quickly called us in and said, we don't know what's going to happen from here, but we know that we're not in the right place now. We need to get back onto the main part of the base. You see something like that and you just almost wonder if you can trust what you just witnessed, or if it's just something that you just don't know.